Hello, everyone, and welcome to March 1st Sermon of Cyber Hope Church. Thank you all for coming. I have no announcements for today, so let's get this started. Words. They have great power, don't they? Words communicate joy, hope, love, happiness, acceptance. But they can also convey hatred, pain, fear, suffering, destruction. Words can create a multitude of emotions and understanding. Words have power. I want to admit something to you. When I was in junior high, I just moved to the area where I lived about a month before elementary school ended in 6th grade. I went through a summer without knowing anybody in the area, and then junior high started that next fall, and I was a new kid. I wore glasses, so immediately I was considered a dork, junior high, dork, glasses. And so I was picked on a lot, and the pushing and the shoving, boys will do that, never really bothered me a whole ton, but the names. The name calling was the hardest part of the entire thing. The words are what stuck with me. And I made several friends later on down the road, but it was still the hardest part was accepting the things that were said and trying to understand that they weren't really how I was, but people were being mean. I want to read a meme that my wife posted on Facebook recently, and I really like it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can also hurt me. Sticks and stones break only skin, while words are ghosts that haunt me. Pain from words have left its scar on mind and heart that's tender. Cuts and bruises now have healed. It's words that I remember. Words have a very unique power. They have the ability to build us up to the highest heights or bring us to our lowest low. Words have power to lift up or destroy. I just gave you a negative example, but let me tell you something. If anybody can admit it to themselves, they love themselves a good compliment, don't they? Words have the ability to lift people up as much as they can tear them down. I'm going to talk about the lifting up part here first. People love to hear good things about themselves, don't they? You probably do. I know I do. When I was doing an internship with a hospice agency a few years back, I asked the boss of the chaplains that I was riding with to our next visit how he graded employees' performance, and I was curious as to how they handled employee reviews. And his answer really struck me. He said during the employee review he would always start off with something good to say, a compliment of some kind. His reasoning was that he wanted to start on a high note. Reviews are stressful, they're scary. And it put the employee at ease to know that something good they were doing was being noticed. Why does it alleviate stress? Because it makes us happy to know that somebody is noticing something good about us. It's not just all about the bad, it's about the good as well. The things that come out of our mouth have the ability to lift up or tear down. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29, we see Paul talking to the Ephesians. He says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that may benefit those who listen." First, I want to point out the word unwholesome. The Greek word unwholesome literally means rotten or foul. It was originally used to describe rotten fruits or vegetables, something that had just decayed. So let's reread that with those words in place. Do not let anything that is rotten or foul talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. Very important right there. Their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Very important here is that building others up according to their needs, not yours. Not what you need to happen for you, but their needs will be taken care of. Words have the power to benefit those who hear them. They also have the power to destroy those who hear them, by how we say it. I read an article in Psychology Today called "The Words Have Power." Very important topic. And I want to read a quote for you from that. And I want you to think about, if you were in this situation, would you think this way? If a friend describes a person you are about to meet for the first time as untrustworthy, you will be predisposed to view that person as untrustworthy, regardless of the person's actual level of trustworthiness. The single word untrustworthy creates a filter or premise effect that predisposes you to view the person you are about to meet as untrustworthy. Thereafter, you will tend to view everything that person says or does as untrustworthy. The one word, all the person had to say was, "This person you're about to meet is untrustworthy." One sentence, and you suddenly have created a whole image of the person you're about to meet. Words have power. They have enough power to make you create a mental image of somebody you have never met before. Whether that image be negative or positive, it has the power. And as we all know, first impressions are important. And without those first impressions, we go nowhere. And if someone has altered what our first impression would be by saying something before we get there, then we are already fighting an uphill battle on our impression. Not only do we have to make a good impression, we have to make a great impression to change anything that person has said about us. A good example is when a new employee can enhance or hurt their career opportunities depending on the first impressions that they make on their employers or coworkers. And the acceptance of an employee who transfers from one office to another office often depends on the reputation that precedes their arrival. Words spread faster than you go. Those words will dictate how people see you. So words have the power to shape our world, to shape how we view things. We can be persuaded to do something or not to do something just on the words of others. Words have power over others, but they also have power over our soul. Jesus talks to us about words and how they have power over our soul. In Matthew chapter 12, verse 34 through 37, Jesus says this, "You brood of vipers, how can you who are evil say anything good? For out of the overflow of the heart the mouth speaks. The good man brings good things out of the good stored up in him, and the evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in him. But I tell you that men will have to give account on the day of judgment for every careless word they have spoken. For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned." Again, that was Matthew chapter 12, verse 34 through 37, NIV edition. So here we see that we'll be held accountable for what we say. Our soul will be judged by what we say. So not only can we affect the outcome of what people think, and not only can we destroy them or lift them up, but we can also affect our soul. We can also drag our soul down. Someone once told me that people we love can say the things that hurt us the most. We go back now that we talked about the soul. I want to go back to how words can affect others around us. Take, for instance, a husband and a wife fighting. And if you've ever been married, you're going to fight. care what people say, the high and mighty dreams or whatever, you're going to fight with your spouse no matter how much you love them. It's going to happen. But the problem is that the fight usually starts off as some kind of discussion about something. Where you're going to eat, where you're going to go. And then sometimes it will slide downhill. These fights can get heated and can send both away brutally hurt. Yes, even the men, brutally hurt. Because the people we love the most can hurt us the deepest. And why is that? Why is that? Because, again, up in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34, we see, for our out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So when you say to somebody, I hate you, I don't like you, you're mean, you're lazy, you're stupid, these comments reflect, or are believed to reflect, the way you truly feel about the person. And so as such, they take that as a personal offense, as you have just told them that you believe this way about them, which also is compounded by those we love because they feel they've been lied to all this time, and that you've truly despised them and hated them when you really didn't. The words we say to our spouses, especially family, people close to us, can have lasting consequences, not just for the happiness of the person, but also for our soul as well. Every careless word will be judged. So words are an important part of us, aren't they? They can mean a lot to somebody. We use them to communicate how we feel to those around us. I saw a meme before. It said, I think I've used this before in one of my sermons, but it said, call a woman beautiful 1,000,000 times and she'll never ever believe you. But you call her ugly once. She'll never forget it. Why is that? Because the words have the power to direct somebody into a train of thought, and most girls don't believe they're beautiful. So when you call them ugly, you just reaffirm what they believe of themselves, and they're quick to believe it. I had a friend one time who was on a phone call while I was around them, and the person they were talking to, they were belittling, and they were tearing them down, calling them stupid and ignorant, and why don't you listen to me, and real nasty words, angry, a lot of tone behind it. Very important. Words are not the only thing, but the tone is also important. But after all this name-calling and destruction, the person got off the phone, and I asked them, why were you talking to somebody you don't like? They turned to me with a surprised look on their face, and they said, that's my girlfriend, I love her. I'd have never guessed. So I asked them, why do you talk to them that way? And they said, because they need to hear it. They need to understand and respect. But they know I love them. That's an awful assumption to make. Your words are the gateway to your heart. And not just what you say, but how you say it. For instance, if you say, I love you, in a really nasty tone, the words, when you hear just I love you, convey happiness and a feeling. When you say it like that, it sounds nasty and like you really don't mean the words. But when you say, ha, you're stupid, thinking you're joking, the person picks up the meaning. They know you're not joking. It's what you truly think. Words are a powerful tool given to us by God. In Revelation says that Jesus will strike down the enemies of God with but a word. In John, it says the word. Shoot, I didn't write this down. In the beginning, the Word was with God. The Word was God. The Word became flesh. Jesus was a word. He was words. It's the power of words. And they're meant to lift them up. They're meant to lift people up. They're meant for encouragement. They're meant to give glory to God. Words have the power to affect people. In Luke chapter 6, verse 31, it says, "Do to others as you would have them do to you." I want to say to others as you would have them say to you. This is just as important. As I said before, when you want to say something, think, would I like this said to me? Is this how I would like this said to me? I want to make something clear here before the end. Paul also tells us to be our brother's keeper and to right wrongs that we see, but there is a way to do it without being nasty. You want to point out what's wrong, but God has to do the changing. That's not your job. There's a way to point things out without destroying or upsetting somebody. It can be one of the hardest things in the world we ever do is to keep our tone and our words carefully picked. For the words we say can convict the heart. They can also lift them up. They can tear them down. Your words have the power to do good or evil. This week and every week, make your words a blessing to those who hear them. Be slow to speak and slow to get angry. Do not cause pain to others on purpose. Think about your words. Make them a blessing. Thank you for coming. I hope you have a blessed week. Hope that God will be with you. And I'll see you here again next week. Thank you.